Hey guys, what is going on? Jurgen from Zurgrinosports here, and today we have a little bit of a strange video, I guess you could say. I don't really know what to necessarily call this video. I don't know if to call it a bonus or a half episode or whatever the fuck. I'll figure that out after. I just swore in the first 20 seconds. There goes all my ads on this video. Not like I got any anyways, it's fine. But so I've been having some troubles with my Elgato recording software recently. I first noticed them when I was recording the immersive episodes for this series, the GM mode series, or the universe mode series, excuse me. Because the gameplay footage would freeze while the gameplay audio would keep going, and I kind of found a workaround, I guess, and then I thought I had fixed it. So I recorded, all 4 episodes of the universe mode that would occur between Money in the Bank and Extreme Rules. So the 4 SmackDowns and then all that stuff. And the same glitch happened to every single one of those gameplay files, where about halfway or 3/4 of the way through each file, the gameplay audio keeps going through smoothly, but the gameplay footage stutters on a certain freeze frame like image. So I can't upload those just as is and be like, oh, we'll deal with it. I will still upload those videos just if people want to watch them for the bits that are not tarnished, and then I'll include the whole thing, so that way if you want to just hear me talk because you got nothing better to do, I guess, or something, I don't fucking know, just to hear me maybe explain the finishes a little bit more in detail. You won't be able to see the gameplay, but the commentary will still be there by me in the video. So I will upload all 4 of those episodes still. But I'm making this video just to compress all of the storyline progression into one video. So if you don't feel like sitting through, half an hour here and 20 minutes there and half an hour here of just fucking broken footage and me talking, you can just come here, you get all the storyline progression, and then we go on to Extreme Rules. So I just thought I'd do this video. So again, I don't know if to call this like episode 10.5 or if this is a full episode or a bonus episode or whatever the fuck. I don't know how I'm going to figure out the logistics of it, but yeah, so this is just a condensed storyline episode. So obviously we have 4 weeks of build between each pay-per-view. So without further ado, in the first week of July, I'll talk about Raw first and then SmackDown, kind of like, there you go. You know what? Yeah, so I'll just do the whole Raw build really quickly because it's not too much of a focus for this because it's SmackDown oriented. And then we'll go back through with SmackDown. So from the Raw side of things, on July 1st, we would have had a World Tag Team Championship match. RK Bro defending against the Usos. It ties into Randy Orton losing to Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank. Part of that stipulation, if you watched the Money in the Bank episode, was that the Usos would get another shot at the World Tag Team Championships if Roman were to successfully defend his title. So he's looking out for the bloodline, and the Usos win the titles back from RK Bro. There would be a promo from Edge where he reveals that he was promised a title shot by Roman Reigns if he didn't let Cody Rhodes win the Money in the Bank ladder match at Money in the Bank. The general manager gets involved and says, no, that shit ain't flying. What's going to happen instead is that we're going to have a gauntlet match for the number 1 contendership for the World Heavyweight Championship. Cody would be number 1 in that gauntlet. He would defeat Finn Balor at number 2, Kevin Owens at number 3, The Miz at number 4, before Edge gets in at number 5 and defeats him with some interference from the Judgment Day, Malachi Black, and Damian Priest, before a returning Samoa Joe is number 6 in the gauntlet, and he defeats Edge to win a number 1 contendership for the World Heavyweight Championship. Samoa Joe will be facing Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship at Extreme Rules. AJ Styles would defeat Cody Kofi Kingston in a tournament match to determine the number one contender for the United States Championship. And then Seth Rollins would defeat Austin Theory in the same tournament. Then Rhea Ripley, don't know why I said it like that, Rhea Ripley would then cut a promo saying that she was not pinned or submitted in the Triple Threat Women's Championship match at Money in the Bank, so she wants a one-on-one match against Asuka. They both went to 2 draws beforehand. They've had 2 matches in recent times. Both ended in draws, one of them a time limit draw and one of them just a count-out draw, I believe. If I remember my own booking correctly. And we will be getting the trilogy because the general manager would award Rhea Ripley her one-on-one match with Asuka. He wants to see the trilogy. He wants to see who is the better woman between the two. So at Extreme Rules, Rhea Ripley will face Asuka in a match for the Women's Championship, the Raw Women's Championship. There would be other stuff on that Raw because it's a 3-hour show. There would be some filler stuff, not filler stuff, but building up the lower bit of the card stuff, kind of like stuff that like the Gulak Invitational, for example, has been, building Gulak up, and then like the little matches here and there between certain tag teams to give a tag team, you know what I mean? The stuff that I've been doing on SmackDown, same shit would be happening on Raw. Some stuff that doesn't really affect a pay-per-view or doesn't affect a big storyline, but you need it to build up to build out the rest of the roster. So there you go. And then into the second week of July for Raw, there would be a promo cut between Edge and Cody Rhodes, which would basically lead up to them announcing a match at SummerSlam for the number one contendership for the World Heavyweight Championship. The match at Extreme Rules would be for the number one contendership for SummerSlam. So Edge versus Cody Rhodes at Extreme Rules, and the winner goes on to SummerSlam to face either Roman Reigns or Samoa Joe for the World Heavyweight Championship. They would also set up Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest on that show, not Extreme Rules, on the same Raw, which Cody Rhodes would win that match against Damian Priest. Apollo Crews would defeat Xavier Woods in the United States Championship number one contendership tournament, and Kevin Owens would defeat Zeke in that same tournament. Asuka and Rhea Ripley would have a promo between each other to just set up their match. Nothing too specific to be said there. And then Samoa Joe would face Jimmy Uso in a match and win that match on that week's Raw. There would be a promo segment as well between Joe and Roman, where Roman basically says, listen, I know you're looking for your 15 minutes of fame. You're just like Randy. You want to get a rub off of me. I can tell you what, that's not happening. I know, you're the only Samoan in this industry, basically, who's not part of my family. And listen, the tribal chief provides for everybody in this company, but he provides that little bit more. Who we kidding? That lot a bit more for his family, and you're just jealous that you're not in on that, so you want to try and ride my coattails and get that 15 minutes of fame in the main event. Well, I'll tell you what, we are not main eventing. We are going to open the show at Extreme Rules, blah blah blah, and you're going to go back to the end of the line, just some shit like that to establish once again that is not the main event, giving there a reason, because otherwise it probably should be him because of a fucking 2-year-long fucking title reign. I don't think he's hit 2 years yet in my kayfabe, but I mean in real life he did. So so there you go. That's and then again more stuff rounding out the card to build up the rest of the roster. But yeah, man. I mean, in the first week that gauntlet would have gotten like an hour, and then the rest of it whatever. So in the third week of July episode of Raw, we would have Cody Rhodes versus Malachi Black set up. It would probably be the main event, maybe. And Malachi Black would get DQ'd in the match, and then there would be a post-match beatdown in which Rhea Ripley would join the Judgment Day. I feel like one or two people might be like, oh man, you copying. But I had booked this before they booked her. Well, before she joined them on TV. I don't know how far back they booked her joining, but I mean, it's an obvious, assignment of a person. She fits that group really well. So, it doesn't surprise me that they also had the same idea. But yeah, so she would join in that post-match beatdown. AJ Styles would defeat Kevin Owens in the number one contendership tournament for the U.S. Championship, and then Seth Rollins would defeat Apollo Crews, setting up AJ versus Seth next week. And then Samoa Joe would defeat Jey Uso in a singles match. You could have a little promo playing off the fact that they're not in the main event by Roman being like, listen, you don't get to main event Extreme Rules. Hell, you know what? You don't even get to main event tonight, but you do get a match against main event Jey Uso or something like that, just to play off the fact that he is not giving him a main event. So there you go. That's the main parts of Raw. And then in the go home Raw for Extreme Rules, we would have Judgment Day attacking Cody Rhodes backstage with their newest member Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley would probably cut a promo this week at some point, saying since she's the new blood of the Judgment Day, that she challenges Asuka that their match at Extreme Rules be a first blood match kind of thing. She's the new blood, so she's going to spill Asuka's blood or just some shit like that, wordplay on blood. So there you go, first blood match between Asuka and Rhea Ripley set up. Edge would also announce, Cody was left laying and Edge was the man standing tall tonight, and it's going to be the same at Extreme Rules because they will be having a last man standing match for their number one contendership. So there you go. We would have a 6-man tag between RK Bro and Samoa Joe versus the Bloodline set up for this week, but RK Bro would be found knocked out backstage at some point in the show. And Joe would just say, you know what, fuck it, bring them all on, and then there would be a 3-on-1. However, Roman Reigns would say he is a fair man, he'll be nice, he'll be honorable and sit this one out, so it's only a 2-on-1. And enraged Samoa Joe would find a way to defeat the Usos and find a way to win his match 2-on-1. This match, when it was still a 6-man, would have been for the right to choose the stipulation for the match at Extreme Rules. If Bloodline won, Roman would get to choose. If Joe and RK Bro won, then Joe would have got to choose. Since Joe wins this match, he makes a promo. After the match, he puts both of the Usos through some tables, and then he does a promo going off wordplay of the head of the table thing, saying you head of the table this, head of the table that. At Extreme Rules, it's going to be a tables match, and when I put you through a table, blah blah blah, you're not going to be the head of the table any longer. You're just going to be whatever. So just some shit. Joe would make it work. So because Joe's a fantastic promo. And then the main event would be AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins for the number one contendership for the U.S. Championship, which would get a lot of time, maybe like a half hour. Just let them fucking go. Clean win. AJ wins to advance. AJ will face Finn Balor for the United States Championship at Extreme Rules. So there you go. That is the Raw side of things. Now, the SmackDown side of things is a little bit more involved, so this will take a little bit longer. I'll also have to flip through my notebooks and stuff, and that might get picked up on the mic, so apologies ahead of time if it does. But here we go. So we will start with a promo. So the first week of July episode of SmackDown would start with a Ding Dong Hello segment. Hosted of course by Bayley, featuring her guest Charlotte Flair. Charlotte would talk shit about how she outsmarted Sasha with the handcuffs, which, by the way, I mentioned it in the gameplay, the original video I filmed. I had decided to book that finish before I had decided to do immersive style pay-per-view episodes. So I booked it, and then I was like, oh, you know what? This will be fun if I do in-character commentary videos of these and edit it up real nice. And then I got to Money in the Bank, and I'm like, oh, I have a finish that I just can't do. So I just had to make do with shitty camera angles and stuff. I had to do the same for the Money in the Bank finishes as well. But yeah, so apologies, I did the best I could. So there you go. So she would be talking shit about how she outsmarted Sasha. She would talk shit about Sasha in general. which would, mean Bayley also joins in, and she would also talk shit about Bianca Belair too. This would cause Sasha Banks to come out as well as Bianca, and they would all start talking shit about each other before the general manager would come out and say that in 3 weeks on SmackDown, the SmackDown before Extreme Rules, there will be a fatal 4-way match to determine the number one contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship at Extreme Rules. But those 4 spots will have to be qualified for, they'll have to be earned for. And one of those spots will be decided later tonight when Sasha Banks faces Shayna Baszler. Another one of those spots in the Fatal 4-Way will be decided right now when Bianca Belair takes on Bayley. So opening the show with Bianca versus Bayley, and Bianca would win the match to earn herself a spot in that Fatal 4-Way number one contenders match. Then in the second match of the evening, it would be scheduled to be Cena Squared versus the Happy Crew. However, this would fall through because of something that sets up later, so we'll get to that in a sec. But the Dirty Dogs would be standing by and see that that Cena Squared didn't have partners, so they would, they'd be like, hey man, if you're still looking for a fight, we got it. They would accept, and then Cena Squared would defeat the Dirty Dogs. So there you go. There is one other thing I think with Cena Squared real quick. I just have to go through my books and stuff. Just 1 second here. No, not so much. Okay, yeah, so never mind. So I'm not missing anything. So yeah, that's the second match of the evening there. In the third match of the evening, Jeff Hardy would answer the Gulak Invitational, and Gulak would win the Gulak Invitational against Jeff Hardy. Match number 4 would be a rematch for the Tag Team Championships. Alpha Academy invoking their rematch clause. They would have a promo earlier in the night, a backstage promo, declaring it and saying that they were going to avenge their loss and win their titles back. Match number 5 would be Sasha Banks versus Shayna Baszler. Charlotte Flair would have been on commentary. Charlotte Flair distracts Sasha Banks, somewhat costing her the match. And the reason I say somewhat is because it wouldn't be one of those matches where Sasha is about to win and then Charlotte distracts her and then it's like a quick roll up. It would be a match that is 50-50. It's really back and forth, razor thin fucking, advantage for one of the women. Really back and forth 50-50 match. And it wouldn't be in like the finish of the match or anything. Like, no, Sasha wouldn't have winning momentum. It would just be 50-50. Maybe Sasha's starting to pick up a tiny bit of momentum. I don't know. But it's not like she has the match won and she gets distracted. It's a even playing ground, a quick distraction by Charlotte, and then Shayna capitalizes, pounces on the quick distraction because that's all she needs. She's elite, and then she ends up winning the match. So there you go. Shayna Baszler joins Bianca Belair in the Fatal 4-Way number one contenders match on the Go Home SmackDown. And in the main event of the evening, we had Lashley defending his WWE Championship against Happy Corbin. The way this got set up is also why the Happy Crew was not available to face Cena Squared. So if you'll remember back a little bit ago, a couple weeks ago, I just hit my mic, excuse me, a couple weeks ago, in real life, it was a longer time than that. But in the kayfabe a couple weeks back, Lashley placed a bet on the Hurt Business in a match, and he also placed a bet on Shinsuke versus Sheamus number one contender match to see who would face him. He comes in furious to the Happy Crew gambling ring, and he would demand a match with Corbin. He'd said he screwed him out of his bet. He fucking stole his money, and he wants to beat his ass. He wants his hands on him. He starts, breaking up the gambling ring, shit like that. Corbin, he's terrified, but he tries to excuse himself as saying, like, you know what, Shinsuke and Sheamus, like, they're both SH names. They sound kind of similar. I think you just misspoke when you placed your bet. I didn't screw you. Lashley's not having it, and he just keeps demanding a match with Corbin. And Corbin's terrified, but he says, okay, hold on. I'll give you a match, but you have to put your title on the line. And Lashley's just like, deal. I'll see you tonight kind of thing. And Lashley wins and retains his championship. In other promos, would be an Io Shirai maybe interview promo, I think I said originally, where she says she's happy to be on SmackDown, and when the time is right, she's going to cash that in and become the women's champion. And then there would be Sami Zayn footage, like an earlier today footage of Sami Zayn being mistaken for a crazy fan and not being allowed into the building. So there you go. That's that first week of SmackDown there. The second week of SmackDown before Extreme Rules, we would have had in the first match of the evening, Shin Bugski defeating Los Lotharios in a matchup. The second match of the evening, we see Buddy Murphy defeat Lince Dorado. The third match of the evening, we see Cena Squared defeat the Happy Crew. The match went ahead as scheduled this week. That was supposed to happen the week prior. Corbin would have been seen talking to Madcap Moss backstage, saying even though he lost his match last week, he ended up winning in the end because he took a lot of bets that he was going to win because he gave really good odds and really good, returns. And then he lost, which means he won a lot of money. So even when he loses, he still wins kind of thing. They lose to Cena Squared. However, backstage, MVP and the rest of the Hurt Business will be seen talking to Brendan Cabina, Black John Cena, and they would be interrupted by Cena, who says, "Hey, listen, like we've got a big tag match coming up. You guys need to go. We need to get ready." He would then ask Brendan what they said, and then Brendan would say they made him an offer to join the Hurt Business. Cena's like, "Okay, what'd you say?" Brendan responds with, "I didn't get a chance to answer them before you came by, but I was going to tell them, no, I'm with you 100%, John." And then they beat the Happy Crew. In the fourth match of the evening, Io Shirai makes her SmackDown debut by defeating Tegan Nox in a singles matchup. In the fifth match of the evening, Cesaro defeats Otis. There would be a Alpha Academy promo backstage where Gable tries to motivate Otis because Otis was submitted by Cesaro at the pay-per-view, and then he was submitted by Regal at last week. In both title matches, and Gable tries to say, like, listen, like, Otis, you let us down, you need to redeem yourself tonight against Cesaro, you got to bring honor back to the Alpha Academy, but he loses to Cesaro. So there you go. And then in the main event of the evening, we have Sasha Banks versus Bayley to earn the third spot in that Fatal 4-Way match on the go-home. The reasoning behind this match, Bayley claims she wasn't ready for her match against Bianca, so she wants another opportunity to join. Sasha says that, she was screwed out of a chance by Charlotte Flair. So they both get given a second opportunity to qualify in this main event of the evening. Charlotte would interfere again, this time physically costing Sasha Banks the W. Bayley wins the match and qualifies for the Fatal 4-Way, joining Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair. In terms of some other promos, the Gulak Invitational would run. Ricochet would attempt to answer it. Gulak would just decline. He would say, "Unfortunately, your application or whatever has been declined," and then he wouldn't elaborate further, and he would just leave the ring. In terms of Sami Zayn's stuff, Sami Zayn would have been given a key card, but in another, earlier tonight thing, it would show that he tried his key card to scan his key card and it didn't work. It would show him going to a bunch of different entrances to the building to make sure it just wasn't the one entrance that wasn't working. He could not get into the building. His key card did not work and security did not let him in. So Sami Zayn, once again, he wants to be heard, but he is not, luck is not in his side. Evidently. So there you go. On to the third week of SmackDown before Extreme Rules. In the first match of the evening, Io Shirai gets a second win since joining SmackDown by defeating Shotzi Blackheart. In the second match of the evening, William Regal defeats Otis in a singles match. There would be another Alpha Academy promo where, Gable's like, listen, okay, Cesaro, I get it. Cesaro's one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. I get that I get it, okay? I'm not too mad about you not being able to beat him. It's a really tall task. Now, Regal, he's got the same level of ability, but I mean, He was retired for a year. He's old. He's smaller than you. Bring Honor back to the academy. Get this done. Redeem ourselves. But Regal finds a way to outmaneuver, tactician. Yeah. He defeats Otis using technical prowess. Buddy Murphy defeats Grand Metalik in the third match of the evening. Cena Squared defeat the UK Boys, or the Brawling Brutes, in the fourth match of the evening. And this week, Cena Squared would be talking backstage. Brendan and John Cena. The Hurt Business would approach, led by MVP. And MVP says, "Have you thought about our offer?" Brendan would reply, "Yes, I have. My answer is no." And then MVP and Lashley would be on commentary for this match, really hyping up that Brendan has a huge future, in this industry, and maybe that Cena is not the best man to guide him or some shit like that. But they congratulate them on their win in the tag team division. So Cena Squared picking up yet another win in the tag team division. In the fifth match of the evening, we see Sasha Banks take on Liv Morgan in a last chance match, basically, for that final fourth spot in the Fatal 4-Way Number One Contenders match. Sasha is given this chance due to being screwed again the previous week, and the general manager tells Charlotte that if she attacks Sasha again this week, she will be stripped of the Women's Championship, and Charlotte is scheduled to be on commentary again. Charlotte does get involved by attacking Liv Morgan, causing a disqualification win for Liv Morgan, meaning Liv Morgan qualifies for the Fatal 4-Way Number One Contenders match. Sasha Banks is unfortunately not going to get another opportunity to earn another shot at Charlotte Flair for her SmackDown Women's Championship. Sasha Banks, Liv Morgan would not be happy about winning this. She'd be kind of like apologetic to Sasha after the match, but Sasha would shake her hand, raise her hand, and then just kind of be like, okay, like it's obviously neither of us are happy with how this went, but you won the match. Congratulations. I wish you the best, kind of thing. You know what I mean? She's showing that she's not bitter about it towards Liv, because Liv didn't really have a say in it, kind of thing. I'm not going to do the thing where Liv taps but still wins, and then she's like, yeah, you called me on my shit. Good shit, guys. I was booked like a shitty heel, but please cheer me. You know what I mean? Like, she would show humility and be like, I didn't want it this way. So anyways, yeah, so that's that one. And then in the main event of the evening, Drew Gulak would defeat Ricochet for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, Gulak would cut a promo with a PowerPoint presentation explaining why he didn't accept Ricochet's, attempt to answer the challenge last week. One of them could be like a cheap, city heat slander thing where he's like, first of all, I didn't want to wrestle in that town anyways. The only town on the planet worse than that one is the one we're in tonight, but I have a good reason to wrestle tonight, and we'll get to that, or some shit like that. Just some, cheap heat shit. A couple comedic ones could be in there, just to get a quick little pop. But the main reason, and the reason he would focus on the most, would be that the Intercontinental Championship has been disgraced. It hasn't been defended on pay-per-view in over a year, and that was true in real life until, I think, Clash at the Castle. I think that was the first time on pay-per-view since the time before that or something. I don't know the exact amount of days, but he would bring up the fact that it hasn't been defended on pay-per-view in over a year, and the title's been disrespected. And he would say, Ricochet, it's not all your fault, but you have contributed to the downfall of the championship. You haven't helped it, and that's for sure. However, I would reconsider your attempt to answer my challenge if you were to put the Intercontinental Championship on the line in the process. And Ricochet comes out and he says, you know what? I agree. I accept. I will put my Intercontinental Championship on the line tonight to answer your challenge. And then Gulak would defeat Ricochet in the main event to win the Intercontinental Championship There you go. There would probably be a gambling ring segment. I'd try and have one every week just to get some people featured on the show. They can make a little bet, they can cut a little promo, whatever. Get some people featured on the show who aren't in prominent storylines or who aren't booked to wrestle or something. Speaking of somebody who's also featured on the show but not booked to wrestle, Sami Zayn this week was not given his flight accommodations, so he was not at the show. When they sent out all the flight itinerary, they did not remember to send a flight to Sami Zayn, so he could not make the show on time. Unfortunately for him. So there you go. And then in the go home SmackDown for the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, we have Drew McIntyre and Shin Bugski versus the Brawling Brutes / UK Boys in the first match of the evening, which I think I had the Brawling Brutes win. I can't remember exactly, but I think I had the Brawling Brutes / UK Boys win that 6-man tag. Go watch the go home footage because that's the first match, so that should be uncorrupted. So you should be able to see who wins. I can't remember. I think I had the UK Boys win that one. In the second match of the evening, Mustafa Ali defeats the Brian Kendrick in a singles match. In the third match of the evening, the Mysterios defeat the Dirty Dogs in a tag team match. In the fourth match of the evening, Io Shirai picks up a third win in a row on SmackDown by defeating Natalya. In the fifth match of the evening, Cena Squared defeats the Alpha Academy in a number one contenders match for the tag team championships. Now, this features a post-match promo, which is very important. Now, Cena Squared defeats Alpha Academy. At some point earlier in the night, there would be like a hidden camera, like fly on the wall type shot backstage with no audio or anything, just video of Cabina and MVP talking. He would be interviewed about it, and he would say that MVP extended another offer to join the Hurt Business, but he said no yet again. Then him and Cena win, earning themselves a shot at the tag team championships. The Hurt Business were watching backstage this whole time, and they would come out to congratulate them, but they would come out with an offer. They would say, listen, John, you're on 16 world titles. I know you want that 17th. And speaking of wanting titles, my boys want those tag team championships. So, John Cena, I have an offer for you tonight. My offer is, if you forfeit your tag team title opportunity to the Hurt Business, I will in exchange offer you a shot at my WWE Championship at Extreme Rules. A chance for number 17 in exchange for the tag team title shot. What do you say? John Cena would look kind of like he's struggling with it. He's like, man, I don't want to screw over Brendan, but it's the shot for the number 17. He would say, I accept. After deliberating, after struggling with it for a few seconds in the ring or a few minutes or whatever, he would accept. There would be a backstage thing because it would go to commercial and then cut back to the show backstage where he's kind of explaining to Brendan, like, listen, I'm really sorry. We've worked really hard to earn those tag team title opportunities. It was a chance for you to get some championship gold, but it's a chance at becoming the 17-time World Heavyweight Champion. I can't pass it up. I'm sorry. I don't know how many years I have left in the business. I cannot pass this up. I'll make it up to you. I promise. And then Brendan would be visibly upset or disappointed, but he'd say like, okay, John, I understand. It is a big opportunity. I'm with you still 100%. I'll be in your corner on Sunday. And then, so we have a WWE title match set up, and then we have the tag team title match set up, and then we have the SmackDown Women's Championship match set up when Bianca Belair wins the Fatal 4-Way match to earn herself a shot at Charlotte Flair's SmackDown Women's Championship. However, seeing as all matches at Extreme Rules have a stipulation of some sort, the stipulation is revealed by the general manager after the match that it is going to be a special guest referee match, with a special guest referee being none other than Sasha Banks. So, in terms of promos, gambling ring segment for sure. Ricochet would invoke a rematch clause where he'd, first of all, congratulate, Gulak would get interviewed in congratulation of his championship win. Ricochet would interrupt it and be like, "Hey, listen, congratulations, man. Like, legit, you beat me fair and square last week. You earned that championship last week. But I wouldn't get too comfortable with it in your hands or around your waist because I'm invoking my rematch clause at Extreme Rules, and I know that you do not like heights. You operate in a no-fly zone, but that's going to have to change at Extreme Rules because my rematch clause is going to be in a ladder match." So there you go. We got a ladder match set up at the pay-per-view. So there you go. And then with Sami Zayn this week, he is given his flight accommodation, but they sent him to the wrong city by mistake. So he is still not at the show this week, unfortunately for him. So there you go. I don't think I missed anything out. I really hope I didn't. So the Extreme Rules match card is as follows. Match number 1 is Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe for the World Heavyweight Championship in a tables match. Regal and Cesaro defending the WWE Tag Team Championships versus the Hurt Business. This match, the stipulation would be revealed either at the pay-per-view or on social media the day of the pay-per-view, just because it was, put together so last minute. It is revealed to be a 2 out of 3 falls match. The third match of the evening is Gulak defending his newly won Intercontinental Championship against Ricochet in a ladder match. The fourth match of the evening is Finn Balor defending his United States Championship against AJ Styles in an Extreme Rules match. The fifth match of the evening is Asuka defending her Raw Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley in a First Blood match. I can tell you right now, by the way, they do not let me do a First Blood match in 2K. I had to create a custom match, and they don't let women in it. So I don't know what I'm gonna do in terms of the immersive video for that, but I'll find a workaround. Match number 6 is Edge versus Cody Rhodes for the number 1 contendership for the World Heavyweight Championship in a last man standing match. The seventh match of the evening is Charlotte Flair defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against Bianca Belair, with the special guest referee being Sasha Banks. And then in the main event of the evening, we have Bobby Lashley defending the WWE Championship against John Cena in an Extreme Rules match. Will John Cena be able to get number 17, or will Lashley successfully defend his WWE Championship? We'll have to wait and see. So there you go. That's that video. That's this video, I should say. I don't know what I'm gonna put as the footage. I don't know if I'm just gonna put a fucking meme or if I'm just gonna record some random gameplay and put it up. I don't really know. But something will be there, and then you guys can listen to me talk for roughly 37 minutes for explaining all the storyline stuff, so you guys know what's going on into the pay-per-view. So yeah, like I said, immersive style pay-per-view for Extreme Rules. And then hopefully I can figure out what's going on with my Elgato and then all that shit, and then go back to actually recording stuff. Otherwise, it's going to have to just be me doing a storyline episode and then the immersive, and then a storyline episode and the immersive, because if my gameplay can't record properly, then I'm fucked, right? So at least with the immersive style, I just record match by match, so it's not usually too long, because it's usually based on the longer it is. Usually there's a higher chance that it fucking glitches. So yeah, we'll have to see going forward. Play by year, but. Yeah, also apologies for the inconsistency of the videos. Literally, in the first video of the 4 that were goofed gameplay-wise, literally I'm like, hey man, sorry it's been so long. I haven't recorded in this long. I want to get back to it more consistently. I recorded all 4 of those episodes, I think, over the span of a week or 2 weekends or something like that. Or maybe 1 weekend, I can't remember. But I recorded them pretty close together. And then I went to go edit them, and I'm like, oh, all right. And then I'm just like, okay, this is cool. And then I got demoralized, and then I couldn't find a fix, and then I have to make this video. So I will again try and regain some consistency on the channel. I know for the last year and a half, I haven't been too consistent. I mean, I was okay with the GM mode, the 2006 GM mode, because that still came out every week. But since that ended, I've been super inconsistent with my uploads. So I will still be doing a 2008 GM mode from the same universe that 2006 was in, which was from 2007. I'm still doing a third year in that universe in 2008. I just need to make creator wrestlers for that, and that's a pain in the dick because I don't have a lot of free time. So, and then I got to record all this shit, and then I got to book all that shit, but I have a lot of the booking already in my brain jumbled up somewhere, so that's not too much of an issue. But the finding the time to make the creator wrestlers that I want, and then finding the time to record it and edit it, that's a little bit of an issue. With this series specifically, I mean, obviously recording is an issue for both of them now that my Elgato's goofing, but yeah, I'll have to figure all that out on the back end and then hopefully regain some consistency. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Once again, sorry that this is a condensed video, unless maybe you guys like this better and then you like just all the storyline stuff being put together, and then I don't know. I like doing it the other way though, because then I get to play the game and have a little bit of fun. So yeah, man. Thank you guys for watching or listening, I guess, technically. Hope you guys enjoyed the storylines, I guess, and then hope you guys are looking forward to the Extreme Rules pay-per-view on this series, on this channel. Let me know your descriptions. Let me know your predictions for the pay-per-view down in the comments below, who you think is going to win each match. So, yeah, man, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you know, please leave a like, subscribe, share all your friends, comment down below, all that good shit, and I'll see you guys next time.